Welcome everyone to the Thursday, August 14th, 2025 meeting of the Village Lansing Board of Trustees and the staff. My first order of business is to take a roll call. Susan Ainsley.
Present.
Pat Gillespie apparently is absent. Carolyn Greenwald.
Here.
Kathleen Yen.
Here.
And Monty Hardaway is here, so, okay. First order of business is basically, we'll just go through our round table for the staff. John, what have you got? I'm sorry, are Chris and Nick going to be here today?
What's that?
Chris and Nick, are they?
No, Chris is off today and Nick is, I got.
Okay, all right.
Miscellaneous projects throughout the month. I guess our big project is working on the trail up at Lansing Trails 1 and 2. And then we're almost ready to blacktop the plant. Lansing is still down, so. And the next best thing is Cortland or Canoga or Owego to get asphalt, and it's a little too much. I'm trying to make it a day paving project and hauling from those distances without hiring a lot of extra trucks and having them sit here with loaded asphalt on could be problematic. So I'm thinking some Wednesday of next week, they're saying we could be ready to go. So we'll put pavement down on that and then we'll come through and we'll put binder down first, then we'll come through and topsoil the edges and then we'll top it. And what little top we're putting on doesn't really make that much elevation change to it. But we did add about 300 feet of storm sewer with a couple of drainage structures there on the Craft Road side. And that's part of the original project for the grant that you applied for. But we wanted to get at least that much storm in, and we set it up so that it'll accept the walk. We didn't want to have to put something in and then have it tear it back out again. So we installed a bunch of catch basins up there. So it's going to look funny because the DIs are a lot higher. The drainage structures are a little bit higher than the back slope of the ditch. But trust me, it's kind of like, setting the project up for success and how it meets our trail system there.
Sure.
We had, as we talked a little bit earlier, had a pretty good water break down on Cedar Lane. That shut, I think, only 2 houses down, which was good. It's on a dead-end lake. We finished that up about 5:30 yesterday afternoon. And been mowing roadsides. The parks are starting to die down. Been cleaning parks. They had a picnic up at Lansing Trails, Ned Hickey Park Saturday.
Was that the block party?
Yeah.
It's good that they use the park.
Yep. And they were really thankful. I guess they had 60 attendants up there, 50 to 60 attendants,
Wow.
which I think is phenomenal. It sounds to me like I got a nice little thank you from Ben Hogben, is that his name?
Roy.
Roy Hogben, Roy, yeah. I guess he's retiring from the homeowners association up there, and they do have a new contact. So I'm sure Pat will let everybody know about that, but I can forward it along.
Yeah, if you're let forward.
Yeah. But Roy's been a pleasure to work with over the years, and he always took the time to visit the planning board or even sometimes the trustee meetings on Zoom. So I've worked with him a lot of years, and sad to see everybody get old and go, you know what I mean? So yes, we turn a page. So yesterday afternoon, Cornell's having some move-in ceremonies at the mall over here. And every year they do a pretty good job contacting us about putting some signage up in the village. And it's usually those corrugated plastic signs for wayfinding. Last year, I caught the end of it and I noticed they put a message board in the Gore area on Pyramid Drive, just west of the entrance to Tops. And this year I happened to notice the sign was there again. pre-event, and I reached out to Mike, Mike and I communicated a little bit and reached out to Cornell and explained that they couldn't be putting message boards in the village right away. So there's a plethora of reasons why we don't allow that. And I copied you on the email and I sent you a picture of it. So we're working on a solution for them, or they're working on a solution for it, so we don't have to worry about it in the future.
Okay, good.
I mean, we would have to get into license agreements and attorney costs and all that stuff, and it's just not even worth it for us. We just say no to that stuff in the right of way.
That makes
Yeah, I mean,
sense.
we suggested them putting it either in the mall parking lot, something that was off village property, and it would be just as useful, because that's where we're gonna be coming out.
Yeah.
Right.
Mike and I both agree that our biggest concern is safety. We don't want incidents or accidents out there, so
Yeah.
we agree with signage.
Yeah.
And so we explained that, there might be a couple options that they can set up, and this would hold true for the future too for them. So that's all I really have. Any concerns, questions?
Nothing for me.
Oh, and we're working on the sewer variance application. I really feel that we have a few meetings to finalize this. I know it's really a hot button issue, but I haven't really heard, and since the letter went out, I think a couple people called me and wanted to connect. My neighbor got a letter. One was 3 sundowns, and we want to know if we can connect. So didn't know if it was an oversight on our part, and I haven't had a chance to look at the plans yet, but I'm pretty sure that the Sundowns property, which is the Horowitz property, owns the road down through there, and I'm not sure he'll let them cross to get to the village sewer. So, but I got to look at the plans. I have the as-built up there to see if there was any kind of stub put in for them. But other than that, actually a lady come in that owns 1604 and 1606 East Shore Drive, and she pulled 2 permits because she's got a duplex up there. So she's gonna hook up to the system.
That's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
The duplexes share a septic system up there, so
Okay.
it's good to, and that's one of the things that we got to make sure we cover in the variances is the original intent or the original design, that it still is relative to what's in the occupying the residence. Sometimes they put a studio apartment or convert their garage into another apartment, connect to the sewer. Now you have twice as much usage on a septic system that was designed for maybe a 2-bedroom house, a couple hundred gallons a day usage.
Yes.
So, but we want to capture that all in the variance
That's
application.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, so those types of situations would be caught and addressed during the variance request.
Each system is specifically designed for the use of the dwelling. And if they change the dwelling, then it changes the use.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. And so no questions then?
I have some questions
Okay.
kind of for the general board, but that involve John.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned to me that they really find that the signs we have that denote the speeding on Dart Drive are very effective. I was wondering if we have any more of those, how we got that one, because they suggested some other locations where people are going a little fast. So I don't know how
We
you
do
feel
have
about
some more
putting
of
up more of them.
We have the ones that we originally took down still up at the shop.
So the locations that were suggested to me were near the Meadows, on Bomax, near Norway and Janivar, and at the Graham Road curve.
Meadows on Bomax, that's East Point.
Yeah.
correct? East
Those
Point.
were the locations this is just one person's
Yep.
suggestion. I don't know if other people want to
Bomax.
weigh in on whether you think those signs are effective, and,
Where was the other?
on Norway and Janivar. They said that people speed, I think
Yep.
the issue that people have is they think that people use that neighborhood as a cut through to Warren. Do, and then those people are not local so much, so those people drive faster. And so slowing those people down was kind of the goal. So I don't know how you guys feel about putting up some of those signs temporarily, see if they're effective.
Okay. Norway's just not an effective area because of the amount of stop signs there, the short length of runs. It just doesn't make
I think
sense.
they were
If you
thinking
got a
of
long
going
run
up
like,
Craft and Janivar, I don't know, but
Yeah.
just trying to capture the people who are cutting through.
sure,
Wherever you think that might be useful, I think. And then on the Graham Road curve, I don't know if you find that curve that people take it too fast.
I think if someone's taking a curve too fast, the sign's not going to stop them.
I don't know if these signs, well, some people say that they do notice that when people see the sign on Dart, which is a straightaway, they go, ooh, and then they tend to slow down. I don't know, have you found that?
Yes, at times, yeah.
the whole idea behind that is the coasting, right? It's just a little nice, long straightaway. Traffic calming curves like what's through Norway, up by Ned Hickey Park, those 90-degree turns.
Those do it
The amount of
themselves.
stop signs, they kind of, self-taught that you have to slow
Well,
down.
maybe just for the rest of the summer, we could put out the ones we already own and see if they have any impact.
Yeah.
Because there's more people walking in the summer. Maybe we can
Right.
just put them out for 2 months if you have some.
Yeah.
that make sense?
I would be more concerned about, I understand Bomax because of the pedestrians slash.
Yeah, it's all about
motorists.
walkers, really.
Yeah.
Wherever you think people are walking, and if we
Yeah.
have signs that we're not
Quite a
using.
few walkers actually come up and down Oak Crest.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel
so we
like
could do
Oak Crest is
Crest.
probably
A good
a
one,
candidate. I know the
Okay.
troopers sit there a lot of times, and
yeah.
again, I have a difference of opinion on if it's local people or stranger people. If a person is coming into an area, they're more attentive to the road and have to slow down.
Right.
Where somebody that
They
travels the
do
road
every
every day, lives the road
Yeah.
every day.
Right.
And that's what happened when we had the cops, the police, law enforcement set in areas like Dart Drive.
Or Oak Crest.
And Oak Crest, they ended up getting more residents of the village
Yep.
than the people that were coming in for the first time. And it was kind of actually comical, so.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely, we can get them out. Yeah, I definitely would try the Bomax
Yeah,
one.
let's try it.
Yeah.
How many do we have?
We have 4, I
Okay.
think, more. I'm not sure if the 2 still work, because they were the first generation that come out.
The battery.
Yeah, the batteries, they just don't hold charge. They're difficult to program, because they have a Bluetooth. Nothing's programmable in the unit itself. You have to Bluetooth it, so we use our phones. And I gotta see if we can even get into the passwords. We haven't used them in so long, because they were very difficult to use. We used them for a long time, and once they were out there, we never wanted to move them, because it was very tough to move them, the reprogramming part. But the other 2 are easily programmed. Those come off Dart, if you remember.
Yes.
We put the ones that are AC powered. These ones that we have are DC powered, so they're portable. So, yeah, I mean, it takes quite a little installation. It's not like you can just fashion it up on an existing sign. You know, you kind of have to have their own post, and it has to be in the ground quite deep, and if you run into rock, that's an obstacle.
Which you're going to probably do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to make it too
Yeah.
difficult. If you see some
No, I wanna
places where
try
we
it.
can
I
test
definitely-
it, maybe 2 spots. to
Yeah, I
start.
definitely love to try it. I did get asked about the second entrance to East Point
I can,
Pole. And I explained to him that we have not received the license agreement that we went through. And Natalie, about a year and a half ago, after we got done, they said they were ready to put the signs up. They started putting the signs up, and I said, wait a minute, let me check with Mike and Natalie, and we never received it. Natalie was gonna get back with somebody she knew at East Point and never got the license agreement yet. So I think they're hesitant on the license agreement and signing it, is what it boils down to, is why they're having a hard time. Because when they sign the license agreement, they have to have an insurance amendment stating that the village is additional insured, naming the village as additional insured.
Okay, interesting.
So that's the only thing we're lacking. If you hear from them again, I just heard from him 2 weeks ago, I think it was Cole, reached out to me, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you if you had more.
no, I do have more, but I thought, Kathleen, you were going to say something?
Oh, I agree with the east-west, and you can move the working signs around to different locations too, because it sort of does put people
Oh, yeah, it's like when you don't know they're gonna be there, it
Yeah,
puts you.
and another place might be on Cuba Heights Road before the curve, because people do cross and cut through Shannon Park, the walkway to the mall. And
Oh, I totally agree that,
Sometimes-
I was gonna say Cuba Heights, but we were trying to capture the pedestrian movement.
Village of Lansing, on the Village of Lansing, Cuba Heights curve.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, she's saying, there aren't, it's such a dangerous road, there are not a ton of walkers on Key Heights Road, occasionally, yeah. But yeah, like, nobody wants to walk around
That's just what I've heard.
from
Yeah.
Beckett to Oak Crest on Key Heights Road, nobody wants to do that walk, it's way too dangerous. I've been there occasionally, but yeah,
I've done it a couple of times with Deborah, and you have to pay
you
attention,
have to want to go there for some reason.
keep your eyes open.
I do have two other small.
Go ahead.
Okay, they're DPW adjacent, but they're board issues. So I was thinking about, the idea that when I was doing the comp plan, I was thinking like, could we have a ban on pesticides, herbicides, and the like? And I was thinking to myself, well, when we did some upgrades, they were as far as promoting, they were specifically to the village buildings, like making the village buildings more efficient and stuff like that. And what if we just have just an internal policy we don't use herbicides or pesticides in our parks or on our land? Just to set an example, like to lead by example.
I don't agree with you.
I thought you might not, but that's okay.
And I know, yeah,
Or you can picture
and
it.
it's obvious because you've seen what we've done on Cuba Heights Road. If you can't see what we've done on Cuba Heights Road, we had to put some herbicides down there. Because you want me to put them signs in there and I'm not gonna subject my guys to poison ivy.
I said.
So what I did was
poison
I had to
ivy.
herbicide that area.
Okay,
I don't-
just let them know what we're talking about. So another constituent asked me about doing more wayfaring signs on Kega Heights Road.
Yeah.
That's what John's talking about.
We wayfaring or just safety signages, or I want to clarify that. She's talking about safety signages, more notifying people of sharp.
Oh, that's not wayfaring when it's
Yeah,
upcoming? Okay, sorry.
wayfaring,
Yeah, I
when
get
we
it.
went through this many years ago, we went through a bunch of sign pollution. One good example is just driving up Graham Road. There's like 5 signs within that little grassy median right there. And people just become oblivious to them. There's a deer, there's a pedestrian sign, there's a speed limit sign, there's a truck weight sign. There's all this stuff in there. So I'm very selective on what I use and do with herbicides, but I had to use herbicide on the walks on Trip Hammer. I'm going to be blatantly upfront with you. I had to use it. We use it minimum as we can. But what happened was the grass started growing up in the pleats of the walk. Now we have a trip hazard.
Yeah.
And so the curb line, it looked like you want a presentation when you come into a village and want it to look nice. You can't send a guy up there and weed eat a little strip this long for 2 miles. I mean, it's just ineffective. So we had to use a little bit of herbicide to combat that. So.
Well, I'm going to just agree to disagree, which is fine.
Yeah.
You should see my walk, like it's full with weeds.
Yeah.
I'm in front of my house, the bluestone, because I don't use anything on it.
Right.
And I know that it's not the look that everybody's going for, but to me, the payoff is not.
Oh, I totally
not
agree with you.
using product.
I agree with that. It shouldn't be abused. I'm all for you on that. The problem is, you're the one walking your walk every day.
Right. I
We have
understand.
so many other pedestrians walking our walks every day.
100%. And thank you for, because I noticed, I know.
Well, I'm just
know
going to
when
see
you-
that for now.
Well,
See that for now. We can keep talking about it.
I have a related question on this. Have you tried a natural solution like the ones I've seen, soap and vinegar and?
I'm the one that brought that to the village, that vinegar, salt, Dawn dish detergent be the thing.
Right.
What we're having a problem with is that works great on grass and some broadleaf weeds, okay?
Right.
We're talking crabgrass, which is, crabgrass loves that little bit of dirt that gets in that crack of that sidewalk and can stay there during the driest of times. That stuff there, you cannot try the vinegar. It doesn't work on it. So it works great. Vinegar, salt, and Dawn dish detergent works fantastic
For some, but not all.
for grassy areas. But we've had so much rain this spring that it just ramped up the growth that we couldn't set it back.
Okay.
So that was,
Basically, the weeds take over.
yeah.
because
And once they get there in volume, they're
see,
they self-seed, but they also have enough moisture, they don't dry out quick. If it's one weed and you get a lot of blazing sun, it dries and dies, right? But if you have enough weeds there and enough thickness there, it's self-hydrating almost. If it catches a little dew, it can still
Okay.
provide, grow. I don't like it. To be honest, I don't like it. I don't like to see what you see, True Grow, and all them people come in. I've been around it. I've smelled it. We've worked in our parks when the neighbors were just spraying the stuff. And the worst stuff that any mom and pop can go in is like TSC, Lowe's, and buy 2,4-D. 2,4-D is the worst. If you've ever smelled 2,4-D, it's a broadleaf killer. It's nasty, it's vicious. So I agree with you on that.
Okay, I guess now unofficially, we'll just lean towards salt and vinegar when available and sparingly use what
Yeah.
else we need. And
Yeah.
we can continue to mull this over as a board.
No, I agree.
Well, but the way things are going, someone might come up with a good solution that solves some of the problems. So we'll just keep our, just pay attention.
Please take a look at Trip Hammer and look at the walks and look at every little.
Oh, yeah.
Grows in between it.
And more sidewalks we add, the more that's going to happen.
Then last for you is another issue from the comp plan, which is that one of our objectives is about creating more of a community, and we have a lot of different ways that we want to do that. And one of the ways we want to do it is with more visual recognition. So I wanted to talk about the trucks that we've talked about before, is putting the village signage on the
We
trucks.
have them on most of them. I didn't get a chance to get them.
But you're not opposed.
Just the ones, just as we agreed on a long time ago.
So.
I refuse to put these great big huge billboards on them, as Yamila says, in the one meeting about putting these big placards, because we should be, she works at City Ithaca. City Ithaca has the same size we did. We had this all figured out at once.
Okay.
So, and we put them on the windows because they could be scraped off. We resell our vehicles. We just got $43,000 for a truck that we've had since 2020. We paid $50 for it. The resale value was insane on it, because we don't damage them up by putting placards on it. We
Don't
went
they make
through this.
Magnetic, I'm sorry.
We
then.
did
I don't mean
go
to
through
repeat
with the
this.
magnetic ones and how they scratch the paint and all this other stuff. We went through all this.
Aesthetic clean, what about those?
Yeah, and Ronnie was here. Everybody designed a little village of Lansing that went right in the back window of the truck, and it's on all our,
So
it's
we
on,
have-
there's a couple of them that's not on because we removed it on the one truck,
So
because
it's
one
gonna-
started to peel.
You're gonna
And
put it
we'll
on the next ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And we
you
have
wouldn't
big
be
giant-
opposed, you wouldn't be opposed to something larger if it
Absolutely.
doesn't cause damage.
How can you put something in the, if you put anything on the paint, whether it's a sticker or a magnet, it's gonna scratch the paint. We've seen it time and time again. Or you'll get enough chalking fade around it on the paint, and when you pull it off, you'll see a fresh spot around it. So we went through this a few years ago, and we all decided, it was unanimous, that it was just an emblem on the back window that's not gonna obstruct the visibility out of all the people.
How big is
So-
it?
What's that?
I'm sorry if I don't remember this myself, or maybe I think differently about it now. How big is the?
The same size as the city of Ithaca's, where Yamela works.
I have a question. Are the people expecting to see it on the passenger door, on the doors, rather than where you're placing them? Is that the issue?
I don't see what the issue is. The plates say Village of Lansing all over them. And so we have it front, back, and on the side. I don't understand, the plates say Village of Lansing, Tompkins County all over. I don't understand why this is just
No.
surface.
It was just an
Yeah.
idea about creating more, like I said, there's like 6 points, you remember, in the comp plan about how to create more of a community. This is like one of them. I was gonna bring up another one in a minute that has nothing to do with the trucks, but I was just thinking about just like increasing our visibility, that's all. And, usually to increase visibility, like the catchier it is, the more it increases your visibility. I'm just trying to like create the community in the many different ways, and this is just an idea.
I think we've gone through that before, and
Yeah,
we're undoing what already has been done. And I now know your trucks, because I pay attention, because I live in the community, I drive through. I saw you looking very unhappy over on your pathway stuff. The guys were, and I'm giving you thumbs up sign, you probably didn't see me,
I
but
did actually.
you were not looking
Oh,
happy.
it was hot.
Well, one of the things that I want to do,
But typically, it's two people that bring this up every few years. Lisa Schleeling, Yamila, and there was another one. Bring it up every couple of years, and we beat it, and we mull it over, and we do this, and it's all resolved. I mean, we've beat this horse so many times, so.
well, one of the things in the next 10 years, I don't think it's going to happen this year, is I do want to redesign our village logo, and in that time, maybe we consider something else for the trucks as well. It doesn't seem necessary at the moment.
Right.
But it does seem necessary to increase the village visibility. And I understand that you see it because of who you are, but there's a million other, not a million, there's 3,600 other people who are not as active in the village as you are, so they don't see it. They don't recognize it.
Well, I know who's coming, I mean,
Your personal experience is skewed towards your job.
well, no, I mean, it doesn't matter, wherever I live, I know who's coming and going in my neighborhood. I mean, I could live on 50 acres, but
I happen to agree with
no.
Yamila and Lisa insofar as I want to take a multifaceted approach towards increasing the village's visibility amongst the villagers. And this is one area that was flagged as being a potential place for more visibility. So I just want to keep talking about it, same like the herbicides, we'll just keep talking about it,
Absolutely, keep talking about it, yeah. Right.
maybe.
The thing I was going to suggest, we were talking about getting I can't remember what it's called, the new traffic control device with the arm.
Yep.
Is there any way that we can identify that as the Village of Lansing?
Yeah, we could put one of them stickers on it, absolutely.
I think that.
What a good
Things
idea.
like that would help, because they would realize, oh,
Yeah.
this is the village.
Yeah.
Help.
Absolutely. I've seen it time and time again where Town of Lansing just went from their map that they had to just small letters. And I think, and I know for a fact, we have deep pockets, and if somebody gets hit by a windshield, and they happen to see a truck with that emblem on there, they pin that one, they call the cops, they get a police report, they get their window fixed by a municipality with deep pockets. We have it on there. If it happens and you're close to us and you can read that smaller decal, fine. Then we did something to break your windshield, we'll do it. It happens, the stone gets stuck in our tread.
Yeah.
And you get up to a certain speed outside of 30 mile an hour, boom, the stone comes flying out. If they're next to us, they see our emblem, they can report it. If they see us going by the other way, and they could read that one, but they couldn't read the one that just actually took their windshield out, then they come pinning us down.
Well, specifically to the wayfaring signs and also the email from Yamila, which I don't know if you were copied on this, but she did tell us in regard to the comp plan that now the Tompkins County is supplying signage. And I was going to suggest also that we just look into that. I'm not saying,
I have a problem with that.
Okay.
And this is personal.
okay,
We currently have our own characteristic and personality. When you start putting those signs up and everyone's used to the county sign, they think that we're part of the county, but they don't care about the municipality, so.
And we've haggled this one before,
Okay.
that we're not the city of Ithaca.
Right.
And when you come by the airport and it says, welcome to Ithaca, that's not right. We're the village.
Right.
And that we've haggled this before. It's like, I don't think it's right that they put welcome to Ithaca.
Yeah.
You're not in Ithaca when you're in the village of Lansing, and that's where you are, village of
so
Lansing.
you're not getting crazy about taking the opportunity up with the county and using their signs, not against thinking about more signage and more welcome.
No, what I was going to say is, you mentioned redesigning the village logo.
Yeah.
It'd be a good time to look at what kind of signs they make.
Yeah.
And could we do something along that line in association with the new logo and let people know this, we're changing the design. So when you see this is the village of Lansing. And it's something that we would probably have more, it's more obvious than the signs that are now. I think the signs we have been there for so long that people
You don't see it,
Even
right?
Sure.
And the whole, and the kind of the nice part is by redesigning it, but still, when you redesign that sign, it shouldn't be reflected on the vehicles. You should keep them simple so they're legible. And that's the part that we haggled, was creating like trees and stuff on this big placard on the side of your vehicle just congests it. If it blatantly says Village of Lansing, it's easily legible and easily to pick up. So there are two different purposes that you're trying to do. If you want to do wayfinding and welcome to the village signs, they should be placed at the entrances to the village. They should be placed at our village parks, the village office. It shouldn't reflect on that logo because you want it clear on what it is.
Well, maybe
They're
when we
clear.
do the logo, there's usually like a version and a version.
Yes.
Like a clean version, and then there's a detailed version.
Sure.
They're appropriate for different things, maybe, but they're in symbiosis with each other. So maybe at the time that we do one,
Yeah.
we'll also be redoing the other.
I think it's a
And-
process.
Depends on what kind of design.
So where are options?
But I hate those trees so much, that's really why I wanna, and I'm not crazy about,
I hate the type.
I'm not crazy about
You
the
don't like
birds.
the seagulls? I mean, what do
I'm not
seagulls
crazy
do?
about the seagulls, but I hate the trees, because that's how, like a 7-year-old draws a tree. Anyway, okay, all right, those are my John-related
I tend to agree.
things I wanted to mention.
And
So
actually, as an exercise, I mean, it's sitting in traffic. I just, pass the time at the stoplight, look at the traffic, the truck traffic that moves in and out and up and down and across, to see if I can read what the signs on the passenger doors say. Can't read them half the time. And this is with proper glasses on. I can't read them, it's like a blur. Or they're dirty, or they're worn, or whatever. But anyway,
John, I have one more question for you. We talked I think it might have been last month's meeting, about increasing the speed limit on Dart Drive. Did we really decide to do that? I couldn't remember.
No, what we talked about, we needed to update the traffic, VNT code of the village, and there was a lot of stuff we were gonna incorporate that.
Okay.
This is not a good time for me to be doing this, updating the code. It's more into I managed to give enough time to Carolyn to help her out as much as I can with a
Amazing.
grant.
Amazing.
And
I told everybody at the
Yeah,
last meeting. I don't know if
appreciate
you
it.
heard
Thank you.
How much I
time of
appreciate it.
This is crazy. I mean, we have paving done, we have culverts to do, we have trails of blacktop, and usually fall, it starts to die down a little bit, and then, but to answer your question, we were talking about updating the VNT law, because we turned everything into stop signs in the village, and I think there's 1 or 2 yield signs in the VNT law that we have to amend, and
VNT,
Vehicle and traffic.
vehicle and traffic,
VNT, yeah.
Okay, I was trying to VNT.
VNT section, it's like, I can't remember.
But we don't need any more discussion.
But definitely, we want to, hopefully I could get the village board support on raising that speed limit, at least up to 30. Keep everything consistent in the village.
I think it's probably time to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, since we've got a sidewalk there, street lights, we've got people off of the street. There's no reason, people drive at least 30 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And we're talking.
Actually, I can pull that data out and look, because we just got that sign up we'll have 2 months of data on that. So it would be interesting to see where that goes.
All right, that was my only.
Appreciate it. Mike, anything for me?
Okay.
I have not already told you,
Kathleen,
talk every day.
Okay, then we'll go, Mike.
Kathleen has something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Just, we have the new vehicle and the other was surplus, so can we update the fleet inventory with the spreadsheet that you have? That's one request. And then the water main break process, like on Cedar, I did get an email notification. I saw that this morning from Siren. So how does that work when there's a water main break, just for anybody that happens to be listening in the public? What is the process when there's a water main break? It starts with Bolton Point, and then at what point does Siren get notified?
I tried to go on the Sirens website and I bummed it up. It is the most unfriendly website there is. So I wanted to clear the air on that one. So I go, when I get notified, how it happens is usually a customer, a resident or somebody notifies the village, but more so Bolton Point, that there's either some water in the road, there's some water escaping, and people are very, very good in this village to know that it's been dry for the last 15 days, and it's not normal to see water in the road if we haven't had rain. So, and it was a moist spot, so they got a hold of Bolton Point Tuesday night. So I get a call from a Bolton Point representative that they're on their way in, and they're investigating a resident complaint of water in the road. And it goes to, so it went from the noticer to Bolton Point to myself, and then we work the process. Is it warrant an emergency response now? Or, and it was like 7 o'clock at night, and whenever you work in the dark, it increases the safety level, or the dangerous levels, I guess. So I didn't need to call the people in, and we didn't need to come in to fix it that night. It was just some moisture in the road. He needed more help to process of finding where the actual water is leaking out of the pipe. I mean, just because we see this giant wet spot the size of this building, we don't know where it leaks. So they set correlators, which are like transducers, down on each valve. And what that does, they leave them on there for 10 minutes, and it records the noise of the pipe. So they measure, say, 300 feet in between the valves, and they put it back into their program. The software calculates, the noise is more noticeable at 150 feet away from this valve, valve number 1. And they measure it out, and then you just, the process of common sense, right? So there's no really procedure you can write up. Like, there was 4 people down there from Bolton Point, they could not find where the water was coming out. And you ask the guys, I've done this so long that I'm like, I'm digging right there. And we nailed it. It was within 2 feet of where we were gonna dig. And because we've chased them several, 30, 40 yards, and it's a lot of asphalt to tear up when you're doing it. So once it was just a small leak, and I didn't notify him because it's on a dead-end road, that I didn't notify Jody that we needed to put out a sirens. And then when the problem grew up into something bigger, I called Jody. She put out an immediate siren saying there's going to be some water outages, and boom, we went from there.
Oh, no, you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Getting it done very quickly and minimal disruption. I mean, it was really good. I was just asking about the process because I know sometimes I've been notified by Bolton Point, so I wasn't sure if Bolton Point was picking up a discrepancy and then notifying.
So Bolton Point puts out sirens?
No, I was just requesting clarification.
Oh, okay.
Bolton Point that's monitoring a sharp rise or decrease, are they seeing a spike and then notifying the municipality or?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Most of the water breaks are noticed by the general public. They come in and do meter checks every Monday morning, and if they're 500,000 gallons off, from the last meter read, previous Monday, then they're gonna go out and start looking for a leak. And then that's when they pick up the leaks. If they're losing a few thousand gallons with this dry weather, probably attributed to more people watering their lawns, watering there.
So who sent this message right here?
Jody?
Jody sent it,
Yeah.
okay. And did you ask her to? Or
Yeah, I did.
You said to Jody,
Yeah.
send a siren?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked her to. I encourage anybody to go look at this website at the county. I encourage you. It's like,
It's a lot of choices. Yeah.
have you ever done it?
Yeah, well, I signed up. I haven't sent one out, no.
Oh, I encourage you to try to send one out. I ended up sending it out as emergency, and
Anyone can send one out? You don't have to be like,
you have to be, I was logged, I'm a member, I
Yeah,
can sign
so
one out,
I
right?
can't
So
send
you, Ronnie.
that would be awful if everybody could send them.
No, so what I sent it out as, and I did a couple drop-down boxes, that makes it sound easy, but it's not. And when you go to type it in the message, you gotta have it typed in up here, because it automatically populates it down in this box. And, well, you don't want it down in this box because the category is something else, so I deleted it out of that box. And when I sent the message, it deleted it out of the top box without me knowing. And so I got an emergency with no message. And I'm telling you, I had Jeff Dunn calling Jody like, oh my God, what's going on? Is there a bomb been dropped up there or something? And I said, no more. I don't, it should be really simple. It really,
I'll check it out.
it really, I really encourage you. This should,
tried.
at next water break, because there's a training forum that you can go on and look at it. And I encourage anybody to try it. I'll let you guys know when the next water break is. I'll sign in under.
I'll make up a fake one.
Yeah, because it's not easy, and Jody's pretty good at it, but I'm sure I'm trainable. But when you're trying to, orchestrate a water repair, that's the last thing you want to be doing is to,
Sit on the computer.
Yeah.
Make it behave
Yeah.
itself.
Thanks for clarifying. I wasn't sure if it was Bolton Point.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
the municipality. Thanks.
that's the one beauty about the village, is people really pay attention,
Yeah.
and they notice stuff. It's not right to see water in the road on a dry run.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And what I'm learning from sitting on the Bolton Point Engineering Committee was it's a delicate balance and understanding the hearing and how water works.
Yeah.
And because you've got mapping,
Oh, the mapping is horrible. Yep.
and is it this or is it that? And it's not an easy, it takes experience. It takes working as a team.
Yep.
With Bolton Point and you guys, what is underneath the asphalt.
That's why that's why Bolton Point doesn't allow any plastic pipes installed, because leak detection is nearly impossible. And what we've seen over the last many years of the village is a lot of different layers of road have been put in. So when the leak comes out here, it might get in that substrate and go down the road and surface out here. Natural instinct is to dig down here. Well, you could be a quarter mile up the road.
Right.
So.
Well, anyway, that's
Yep.
my,
So I have anything else? Okay, cool.
Mike?
I've got several small updates, probably not as exciting as your report. What I've been doing, I've been spending some hours the last 3 or 4 days, over the last week, with Megan Kirby from the Stormwater Coalition on how to go out in the field. We were out in the field looking at how to monitor the outfalls that are within the village. And there's approximately 220 outfalls.
sorry.
The requirement, DEC has certain requirements on how you're supposed to record it and whatnot, and they have to be done every 5 years. The advice is to not try to do 220 of them in 1 year, but to scatter them out to maybe 45 per year over the next 5 years. So that's what we're going to be up against. We're good for this year, but starting next year, I'll have to go out and monitor those and keep track of those and report those on our annual stormwater report. So let's put those in there. So, but it was very good. Megan was excellent with it. She's got a program she's going to set me up with. You go out, work on it right off my phone, monitor them.
Okay, good.
They made a map of where of all the outfalls are. So they've done a great job. It's the Stormwater Coalition it was a great idea and it's very helpful. Also doing, normally I don't do a lot of fire inspections this time of year, because when I originally took over for this, I kind of wanted to split up my time, and I knew that building permits and inspections for all of that would be intensified this time of year, so I kind of pushed fire inspections off to spring, winter, and fall. But this year seems to be kind of odd. There hasn't been a whole lot of building permits. There hasn't been a whole lot of code activity, so I'm trying to do some of the ones that have to be done in the fall, just in case things pick up maybe in the fall or winter. So I'm working on some of those. I'm also, this time of year, I do what I call my naughty list. Those are the people that have the building permits that are past due haven't contacted me, so I send out notices to them to find out what's going on. I need to come out there, or you need to renew your permit, one or the other. Usually when you're telling somebody, hey, I need $200 some to renew your permit, they get ahold of you pretty quick. So it seems to work out okay. The planning board right now, they're working on the chart of uses. What they've done, and this might be repetitive, but we've broken up into 3 teams of 2, and they're handling certain sections, certain uses in certain districts. They're taking a third of the chart each and coming back with reports. We just got a report this past meeting from Yamila and Jim McCauley about their section of what they would recommend adding a use in a certain district or taking a use out of a certain district, and giving us their reasonings. So we've got that chart, and we'll be going over that next meeting, kind of back and forth debating on whether we should recommend this change or that change. It's come out, it's been a really good process. We found that we have a lot of definitions that really don't make any sense, and some definitions that may have made sense back in the 50s or something. But so we need to kind of update all of that, and they're doing a very good job with it. The 2 new members that you accepted, Kevin Calvington on planning board, seems to be fine. He was a little bit quiet this time, but he did have some input. And we had a BZA meeting, and Devin Walker's back in there, and Devin seems to be very outstanding as far as, you know, he'll come out and express his opinion, which he didn't expect from somebody who would be their first day on it. So that worked out very well. Some other things around the village. Ross is looking to open next month. Community Bank is looking to open next week. They've only got 1 or 2 little items to do. And let's see, I think that's about the only 2 really active jobs in the area. An update on the 2025 code. They're basically have everything finalized except for the energy code. There are some pretty wild changes.
The moratorium on gas is going to stay, do you think?
I'm sorry?
The moratorium on gas appliances?
Would be a nice thing, but I think the way things are being pushed for the uniform code.
Doesn't the building code have no gas appliances?
No.
I thought that was one of the
Well,
changes.
This is what they're changing it to is this. Next year, starting 2025, any new homes have to be all electric.
Yeah.
Yep, they have to be all electric. I thought they were gonna have just the heating system be electric, but now they're saying everything has to be electric.
And you think that's gonna,
Those,
that's already done, that's a done deal, or there's still, that's,
that looks like, from what I'm reading,
but I'm thinking that's why you're not, it hasn't been finalized yet, because that's such a big change.
they've finalized just about everything, including that, except for
yeah.
the energy code. They're still going back and working on some of the energy code. This is really not in the energy code.
okay.
This is more of the residential building code.
Okay,
But yes, any new homes, that would be any new residential, I think it's how they put it, any new residential, so you're talking single family, 2-family, multi, has to be all electric. You can though, if you have a gas furnace and it breaks down, you can replace it with another gas furnace. This cycle, next cycle, you won't be able to. I don't really like that, that causes a hardship for people.
Yeah. What's the cycle?
4 years.
4, okay.
The other big item that we had talked about was sprinkler systems in residential. They eliminated that, except for townhouses. Townhouses are now going to be required to have a sprinkler system in it, no matter what.
Is that new build or
New ones.
existing?
I'm sorry?
New, but not existing?
New ones, just new ones.
Okay.
3 or more though, right?
What's that?
3 or more though, right? 3 or more,
Units?
a triplex?
Any townhouses, they're categorizing it as a townhouse has a common lot line. And I think that's the main reason for the sprinkler system is you have a 2-hour wall separated. It is a common lot line. So anytime you're gonna get a new townhouse, ones that would be affected is if Lansing Trails 3 comes along. Lisa wants to end up doing that. She's got sprinkler systems in them. The energy code, some of the things that are out there, they are going to change. When you're doing building, the required insulation and R factors that are in the insulation, it was going to increase quite a bit. It's not so much for us as in Tompkins County, because we're getting changed from a climate zone 6 to a climate zone 5. They're considering us a warmer climate zone. So it actually, the requirements for building, our value in the walls, ceiling, floors, and everything are going to remain about the same because we're jumping up into a warmer climate zone, so to speak. So that doesn't affect us all that much. But what they're doing with the energy code, some of the other points, they're debating on whether to require somebody like me during my plan review to write up a lengthy report on the energy code, how it meets it, and turn that report into the state, which is going to be astronomically time consuming. It's just, I don't know why they're going to do it. I'm hoping they take that out of there.
Right. Did they give you any kind of a draft or a boilerplate or something that you
They
can
haven't
fill in?
yet. I think when they finalize it, it would be nice for them to, so something we could just fill in.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this, and then turn it right in so they can keep track of things.
Yeah. If it collects the information they need and you don't have to sit there and write every one of them, it'd be a lot better.
But they haven't, like I said, they haven't finalized the energy code, so that may get taken out.
Okay.
It's gonna be very strict. The energy codes are very strict as far as tightness of houses. They're even requiring ductwork that's within a house to be air tested, which never had to be done before. It was within the installation envelope of the house, so air leaked out in the house, just leaked out in the house. They want that sealed up. It's gonna be pretty restrictive to do any building. That's kind of it. The only other item I'd like to request or talk to you about is, I've spoken with Chris Fiello. I don't know if you remember Chris. He was the one that wanted to develop Eric's Asian restaurant, that lot. Because he wants to put, you probably heard this before, so bear with me, because he wants to put a drive-through in there, which the drive-through would not come out on the trip hammer. It's already been decided, even when he was here before. It's not an allowed use in the commercial medium traffic district, which is what that's in. He has probably 3 options to go about this. The first option would be to come and try to get a use variance. A use variance is very difficult because you have to show hardship. And you really can't show hardship. He doesn't have to buy the property. So it's almost impossible for him to get a use variance. His second option would be to have some type of, either that parcel be changed to commercial high traffic, or the use of high traffic food and beverage added to commercial medium traffic. I'm not so sure the planning board, and by no means am I speaking for them, I'm not so sure the planning board is all for that. The idea of having a bunch of drive-throughs be allowed within this whole district is not something that they are fond of. This is the one we're talking about right here. The third option would be an EDA. I know the mayor has suggested something to you, if you would be interested in lowering the amount of acreage required for a PDA. What Chris is asking is for him to be allowed to come and at least present something to you. He thinks it would be a very good option for the village to, one, provide a couple of eateries in which he has secured Chipotle and he secured
Same owners of the Chipotle downtown or different owners? You have to find that out. The worst Chipotle in America is located on,
Oh, I don't know. See, Chris would buy that whole lot off of the current owner, which is, I believe, Eric Husband.
I believe, yeah.
And he's also secured, I can't remember the name of it, but it's similar to a Chick-fil-A.
So did you listen to the discussion from the meeting when we talked about?
I did not.
It's very bad idea for the board to take a project in mind and change the law regarding PDAs on the basis of that project. And even Peter was like, are you spot zoning right there? Like, it's just, it's not, if the law needs to be changed for a variety of reasons and it happens to fit a project, that's one thing. But to look at a project and say, we like that, we run into a can of worms that, first of all, we probably can't do for spot zoning reasons. But, I mean, for me personally, I'm looking at all this, and I know one of the reasons that we have commercial low traffic, commercial medium traffic, was to kind of fan out the commercial area, but like, this being dark purple, doesn't seem to me like any kind of problem for any kind of residential areas. I mean, if we were to dark purple some of this in a creative use, that seems to me like it makes perfect sense. And developing it seems great to me in general, but to change the PDA law seems like a highly problematic way to do it.
So what you're saying is that by changing a dark purple, let's go to commercial high traffic.
Right, but not there, because that's illegal. You can't go into the middle of the zone and.
You would have to change the whole
You
area.
have to come up with some kind of rationale, which my rationale is, I can see developing a lot of this in commercial high traffic ways. It's certainly not near any residential homes, which was the idea behind the fan out of high traffic, medium traffic, low traffic. We wouldn't want to undo the work that previous people had done to develop that strategy. But for any of this to be dark purple, doesn't, maybe not over here because we have some homes, but for some of this to be dark purple, especially on this on the west side of Chicago there, doesn't seem like I think that would, considering that, seems like it would make a lot of sense.
Okay.
The discussion also, Mike, since you didn't listen to the recorded discussion, was that the PDA was probably not necessary because our design guidelines that were created early in the village would help us to do some of the things that a PDA would allow us to do, but it would be up to the planning board first and the board of trustees to support their decisions, to use those design guidelines to enforce a different look and feel within the businesses that are franchised, rather than their standard look and feel, to something a little more friendly
Village-esque.
to the village environment. So that was the discussion.
Well, one of the reasons I had supported the PDA was it gives the Board of Trustees and the Planning Board the option of kind of molding that area how they would like it to look.
Yeah, totally. It would be, it's just not a good idea to look at the project.
Drive-through in there. Or
No, I
whatever.
totally agree. It is a great way to control the,
But you think that actually changing that zoning, if it were possible, and I say if possible because in general, the Board of Trustees are going to be the ones that change the zoning, but also in general, you seem to have followed what the planning board has recommended.
Yeah, synergistic effort, yeah.
So if the planning board's like, no way, we don't want that in there, it's probably not going to be
There is,
possible.
that's most likely, yeah. That's the way that it has worked in the past.
Okay. And this is an item that I need to bring up with the planning board. Like I said, if I'm pushing this too much, then let me know.
no, let's build. Let's take the vacant properties and clean them up, and with creative
You
ideas.
see that every day, and if we have an
100%.
option of getting rid of that and bringing in some type of eateries, I think it's a win-win, but like I said, it's not my decision, and I'm not here to push any project. But I also kind of like to see us make sure we look through it before getting into which you do. I don't mean
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you don't, but.
So the question that we have to think about is what would happen to these properties if they were commercial high traffic? Well, this is McDonald's, so nothing. And these are the offices. I mean, are they somehow at risk if we make them commercial
No.
traffic? I don't think so.
We've done something similar to that in the past for the little area over near Cayuga Mall. If they exist at the commercial medium density restrictions or code, a commercial high density is not going to do anything to them. They won't have to upgrade or anything. They just are there. They aren't taking advantage of all the commercial high density or high traffic.
What's nice about that is that you don't want variances or grandfathered properties, you want people who conform to the code. So if we change the McDonald's actually in conformity. So it's justified
Yes, it
to make the change,
that's
whereas
grandfathered
to
in.
just justify here, you have a spot zoning problem, that is, you really can't.
Yeah, McDonald's is not conforming because it was grandfathered in.
Right, so then it will be conforming, so that's actually a good reason to think about making that change.
Good suggestion. Is it something that you go back to the plan, you guys want me to go back to the planning board and discuss with them?
Yeah, I think.
I'd be happy to see that property built into restaurants, although I have to warn you about the Chipotle downtown being probably the worst managed restaurant in town, probably the worst managed Chipotle in the United States. It's a disaster, so.
Do they have a drive-through down there or no?
No.
No, it's.
It is, if it's the same owners, yeah.
They are
Of concern.
they're understaffed. They don't know anything about customer service, from my experience.
And if they were to exit directly out on Trip Hammer, which we've spoken, they might not even be able to, I would be completely against this. But they do have the benefit of having that circle and maybe one entrance into a mall-type area.
I like the thoughts of moving their driveway anyway. I was just looking at their driveway. It's so close to the intersection
Yeah, it's very close.
of Hickory and Graham. It'd be better if it was more north of the property line.
That's what-
Doesn't quite line up with the entrance, the second entrance to the YMCA, but it would be a lot safer for the intersection.
Okay.
So, sorry, go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, a similar situation, it's not exactly as where the Chipotle is now. They have that one main entrance into the strip of.
And you go up and around.
businesses, and you go up and around and out again. Now, they do have one little extra entrance, but it's not an exit, so, but it's very similar, and that's a successful area, it works pretty well.
And you're forced to come out to one of the lights,
Yeah, it's nice, you come out to the light.
which you would similarly
Yeah.
be here without, obviously, there's no
Much
light
better
by
to come out to the
child.
light. But one of the points that I raised when this came up is what the next thing I'm going to ask you about, which is for the Transact building. One of the hiccups they had for their PDA was that PDA requires, one of the terms is a variance, it's a density limitation of not more than 25%. And that's in the same column of things where it says acreage of 5 acres. It's like that's acreage of 5 acres is A, and the density one is point C. So if they come to us and say, we want to put it in PDA, and we say, well, okay, but you have to be within these 5 points, and C says density. And somebody else comes to us and says, we want to be a PDA, and A doesn't apply, do you guys mind changing it? Then we got to change it for everybody, and sometimes we want those terms to be there as
Yeah, this
written.
is kind of why I brought it out, because I wanted to hear what everyone really had to say. I realized you'd already spoken with it, and like I said, I don't want to keep beating on this. I just hate that.
Let's find a way. I agree with you. Let's find a way. Which brings me to my next point. You just sent out the email for the planning board meeting with Transact on it. I didn't see anything in that about density.
Your board of trustee meeting with the?
No, I thought, didn't you send it out for the planning board with the Transact?
I just received something from Alex today.
Oh, here it is. It came out to us.
Sent it to
Yeah.
Jody, she may have.
Oh, it came out to us, yeah. But it doesn't have anything about density. It has our comprehensive plan quotes
But it also
highlighted.
has a completely different layout.
But it looks lovely. Look at this very cool
Completely different layout.
Brooklyn.
I was gonna send it to you,
brick.
it must be Jody had forwarded
But
it.
my question is, I was gonna ask you to ask them, because it doesn't say anything about density. I mean, if this looks great, but it doesn't mention the density issue.
Density numbers aren't over in the little columns where they used to be, they're off on the side.
I don't see them at all. Do you see them?
I haven't had a chance
I
to
haven't
look at
looked
it.
I didn't see-
Meetings this morning, and I just didn't get a chance.
That was, my question was about density. Because you had calculated for them what they could have with the PDA.
They have at least taken that big monstrosity down to something
Yeah.
that looks a little bit
Yeah.
more.
I agree.
aesthetic.
If they can work within the PDA parameters, then that makes sense.
Okay.
Because of the reasons that we're supportive of taking existing building and creating a new use for it and being creative with your building in a way that, you know, the things that they quote back to us from the comprehensive plan are still things that we very much support. We just had a problem with all those criteria for PDA.
One of the big items was, at least he's de-institutionalizing it.
Yes.
That's such a word.
Yeah, yeah.
There is,
Character,
there now is.
character with the village. Okay.
So I will,
You brought up, did you say Chris wanted to come make a presentation? Do you think he needs this information before he comes in, or that we just discussed?
I think what I'll do is have him, he has a deadline with Chipotle. His deadline for Chipotle is August the 26th.
Right.
So I had also said to him that if you get a chance to present or move forward, we're just opening the door, there's no guarantees that you're gonna hit that
No.
deadline or how quickly the process is going
Yeah,
to go.
there's still a whole process.
But if we wanted to do a PDA, it would not happen by the 26th. If
No,
we
no.
wanted more than anything to do a PDA, it wouldn't happen by the 26th.
Yeah, it would still be slow.
I will speak to the planning board, and I'll put Chris on hold right at the moment, saying, look, this is the direction we're going, PDA is not going to happen, the board of trustees don't really want anything to do with the PDA on this property.
I wouldn't say that. I would say the Board of Trustees wants to follow the village code.
Doesn't want to change all right, I'll word it.
The other thing to consider is if we do want to try to convert that area to a commercial high-density traffic, what is that process? Approximately, what
I
is the
think
length of
that
that
would
process?
still be, but if this were to happen, if you were to convert that section to commercial high traffic, and then he was to come in for the special permit, that process still would take less time than PDA would.
Okay, all right.
I'm almost positive it would.
I agree with that.
I think we have to have
PDAs usually take like a year.
a public hearing for that change.
The zoning,
So,
Yes,
It's a
so you
little
got
bit-
2 meetings there.
yeah.
That's if it goes perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can start his process of special permit, which I'm sure will take another month or 2.
I think also the planning boards want to gonna look at and carefully consider the idea. Say, what was our goal in having this be commercial medium traffic? Does that still best serve the village's needs? And think about it for a minute.
Yeah, things have changed.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have changed, for sure.
I agree.
If, one question that they may ask me, what does the board of trustees think? And another one is, John, you see an issue, pipe right up and tell me an issue with this coming from
About,
the development of that property.
I think it's awesome. I mean, we need places to eat, draw people in here.
I'm talking like infrastructure wise, if there's an issue that you see, please pop right up, because
Yeah, no, I don't
the
think
questions
so.
they're gonna ask me,
Sewer's
they're
there.
gonna ask me what the board of trustees think, and they're gonna ask me what you think.
Roadway, the only thing I might want to consider is maybe I don't know if it's a good idea. I have to really kind of see what Dondi thinks, because he's kind of like smart in that stuff, but a one-way in and a one-way out. So you're directing traffic out would be my only thing. So you're not letting them go back to Graham Road because of that intersection and the flow of traffic from the YMCA, you know?
You want to go back to Graham Road, though, because you want to get to the light.
Well, I know the light's most logical, but I know, that's what I'm saying, I want to run it by them, because it's short, it's in, and if they have a stacking issue, they're gonna bottleneck that intersection.
The design I've seen, the preliminary, has in that one entrance, ingress and egress, there is a triangle.
Yeah.
That directs people one way
That's what I was thinking, like, when you come in from Graham Road, you can't come in from the other side.
Right.
But I don't know how that would work.
Okay.
I would like to see some designs, I guess.
Okay, so when I take this to the planning board, and they ask what the board of trustees had to say, can I say I laid out the options, and it was the board's suggestion that the only way this could work would be to change that zone?
Well, the other suggestions, you had 3 suggestions, right? Changing the code for a specific project is probably ill-advised and possibly illegal. You said changing
In a use
the
variance.
zoning is one option, is the second option, but the third option is changing the usage in the zone.
Use variance.
No, oh, that's a fourth option, yeah, use variance, you said was not gonna work, because it doesn't meet the criteria. And then the other 2 options remaining, one is changing to that area to commercial high traffic, but the other is changing the standards of commercial medium traffic, which we didn't throw away.
Okay.
So a variance is all it would take to allow them to get a drive-through?
It would be a use variance, but they wouldn't be able to get one, I can almost guarantee it.
You know,
They have
through
to
the
show
planning
hardship.
board.
You have to show hardship. He can't show hardship there.
Interesting. The more I know, the less I understand.
Why, that's the only rationale allowed, pursuant to our code or pursuant to something else?
He doesn't own it yet.
Use variance is only pursuant to our code. You need hardship to show a use variance, so that's something else that we should look at in the future.
And
That might be the simple thing to change.
is it only Chipotle that's creating these issues with wanting?
I don't know if this other building has a drive-through or not in it.
Okay,
But if the design that he gave, like I said, you're coming into a mall area, so it really doesn't matter how many drive-throughs are really, or you're only having one in and one out. So it's kind of a unique type, not so much unique, not your typical drive-through like you see at McDonald's.
I'll tell you, a perfect one to look at is Taco Bell. There's a lot of flow through there, and it handles them really well. I mean, you just look at the flow, every few minutes.
The new one
Yeah.
here?
I mean, there is a lot of flow there, and they have kind of a narrow parking lot, it's really tight. For the flow they get, it does really well there, because it's inside a mall setting, and then they go back to the rest of, the entrance, kind of similar to what you're saying.
Well, I appreciate you listening to this. I just didn't want to see a possible opportunity go by.
oh,
Thank
absolutely.
you, Mike.
No, no.
Absolutely not.
of us wants
And
to get-
especially, it's local ownership. I mean, he's
Yes.
looking at purchasing the property,
Yes, he alone is,
and that's another level, and we're not dealing with somebody.
A lot more stake in it when it's local.
he's not asking for a pilot or anything for it. He's putting his own money into it, and seems to be a pretty decent fellow, so.
Yeah, he seems to be. He's trying hard.
All right, well, we'll see. Thank you. That's really all I had. Save the best for last.
That's enough.
Any other questions for Mike?
No.
Okay, I'm stepping in for Jody, so let me see. I guess the first thing we need to do is approve the vouchers. Did everyone get a chance to look at the vouchers, and did you have questions or concerns? Okay, then I will move that we approve the August vouchers.
Second?
Susan seconds. Let me make notes of this. She gave me a cheat sheet here, so here we go. All right, Ainsley, gosh, she guessed it right away, okay. I moved it, Susan seconded. All those in favor of approving the audited vouchers, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. And I will just mark through Pat's name. All right. So let's see, there's a variance application so you're continuing to work on that, correct? But we have that for Monday night's meeting?
You want to? You want to look at it again?
I don't-
I think
yeah.
John wants to look at it one more time.
Yeah.
We just met and spoke about it before this meeting.
Okay, so.
We're not gonna have it Monday.
Okay, then I've also got Monday's agenda here I'm working on, so I'll remove that. Okay. And we'll have the 20 Bomax presentation Monday night. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I wasn't pressuring you, I just wanted to know. So 3 people are going to be attending the NICOM, and Jody sent out a notification that she was setting the meal reimbursement rate. Did everyone get that?
I don't think it's.
Only I.
Well, I'm not going.
Okay. She used the US General Services Administration numbers, and that's what New York State uses. Basically, she put in the zip code of where you're attending the conference, and it gives you rates. The rates that she came up with for Lake Placid District, breakfast is $22, lunch is $23, dinner is $36, and incidental is $5. And so 22, 23, 36, and 5. The resolution, and I will move this, is to set the meal reimbursement for NICOM conference to be the same as the US General Services Administration as follows: breakfast 22, lunch 23, dinner 36, and incidental as $5. And so I will move that resolution.
Second.
She just barely beat you, Kathleen. Okay.
It's just years of practice.
Okay. Okay, any discussion about this? Okay, I think it's just a formality. All those in favor say aye.
I'm going to abstain.
Because you're going?
Yeah.
Abstain. And Pat's going. So, but we only needed 3 to vote for it, so that's good. And we got this one. She also has here, Kathleen, the resolution, the new resolution, changing my responsibilities as task force coordinator. Did everyone get a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, we're clarifying for CSC, Climate Smart Communities, my role, so that Kathleen is actually the chair of the task force meetings, but then when it comes for official communications between the village and CSC, primarily the documentation, the evidence that Kathleen and the task force will create, I can submit it, because it's a little confusing, so.
It's the same as it was before. The only thing DEC requires is a coordinator. They don't require a chair. So this is just reappointing, basically, Ronnie as the task force coordinator and describing the responsibilities, which are the same as they have been all along for the past 5+ years.
5+, yeah.
And adding the term.
Yeah, there is
Did you all get it?
a term limit, ending, it will end in May 2027. So I will move this resolution.
Second.
Carolyn seconds. Sorry, I just want to make notes to make sure. Okay, any other discussion about that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. And I think that's everything from Jody's side. Yeah, got this. All right. I'll mention 2 things here. I think this is just the sheet she used to arrive at those numbers for the reimbursement for meals. And we talked about it before the meeting, but I'll mention it during the meeting for the recording, that there apparently is going to be a soccer shots camp, a soccer camp at Harts Hill Park for ages, soccer players of ages 3 years to 8 years, and it will start on September 4th and run through October 23rd. And it's about an hour long each day. And that they are charging each participant in that camp $130. And none of that money comes back to the municipality. It's purely for that organization, which I think is a good cause. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay. I think that takes care of everything. So let me confirm. John, there's a note here, and it didn't make sense to me. JC, dark drive data. Is that maybe the data from the speed
Yeah,
signs?
yeah.
Okay. I'll just put to come later. That was the only thing I could think it was for. And we took care of all those. Okay, that's done. Okay, good. We are finished with ours. Okay, we'll go around the table then. Carolyn, I mean, you've started, but finish up.
Two issues I wanted to raise. One is, I was thinking about vacant properties, and, we keep talking about what can we do, like, to enhance the zombie, laws, and like, come after people and stuff, and I'm just thinking, well, what if we just take the carrot approach completely, and start now? One of the goals of the comp plan is business outreach. Like, let's start now, and let's start just having conversations. Start with the mall, and invite them to become part of our new commercial area advisory committee, and let's start super friendly and start reaching out to the owners of the Trip Mall. We should at least know what everyone's intentions are. And so, do we want to start? Do we want to start with the commercial area advisory committee? Do you want to reach out to them? Do we want to start getting to know our business owners a lot better and seeing what their future plans are? And, the Trip Hotel was broken into, and what is the plan? And just kind of making it less of we got to kind of enforce the things that are just way so difficult to enforce, and just trying to be like, hey, what can we do? What can we do to build this area up in a positive way? So should we start?
I think it's personally a good idea to interact with the local businesses and I'm blanking on the name that we contacted, the organization that works with the local businesses, the agency, I'm blanking on it, sorry. But I think it's a good idea to.
Chamber of Commerce?
Chamber, yeah.
Okay.
The chamber, but also.
Invite them to be on our commercial area advisory committee? Invite somebody from the chamber to join the committee?
Yeah, and some of the business people.
Well, the business people for
local
sure.
business people, to just make it a more, kind of a user-friendly environment.
Maybe the owner of
Issues to the.
Trip Hammer Mall wants to be on it?
I doubt it.
The owner of Trip Hammer Mall.
They're in the process of selling it, so you may get
But
somebody,
I'm thinking,
Okay, so the new buyer,
it's a new buyer.
that would be great. Maybe they want to start a new leaf and come in with a lot of good ideas.
I'm gonna have to try to find out.
the medical center might be one.
Medical center guy, that guy who came and presented to us, yeah, he probably wants to be on it.
So, I mean, that's something to think about. You'd have to formulate how you want to set that up. But I think something to just open up dialogue and discuss issues would be beneficial.
Isn't the city of Ithaca doing something?
They just finished their retail sales report.
Yeah.
That's, they hired an outside company to come in and create.
They hired.
Yeah, I'm talking about a commercial area advisory committee, which is us plus business owners plus possibly some of the other residents. Like I was thinking of, Jonathan Janke, who couldn't be on the planning board due to his citizenship, could be on an area advisory committee. So I was thinking of him, I was thinking of, the Trip owners, the Trip Hammer Mall owners, but they're.
You need contacts, I probably have contacts of.
Well, could you think about people who you think would be, I was thinking of Crystal Spa, because she's always cared about what happens in the area. People who have expressed interest in caring about the area and its development.
And even, some of the local restaurants,
I mean, I don't know how many, we'll start with a set number of people.
your.
Connie, have you ever
Providers.
contacted like the Trip Hotel or the mall people directly?
No, the closest I've got is to contact the local managers to see if I could get the name of the owners, and I got a name and a phone call, and an email, but I've never heard anything back from the owners.
Managers would be fine, it doesn't have to, you don't have to own the property to care about the committee. I don't know, but I just thought, let's start.
And we've got the new childcare opening up on Trip Hammer, just involving people on any issues and just opening up dialogue. It's just a good first step.
So how do you want to start?
We have to establish a committee, probably by resolution.
Okay.
It would have to have a chair. Any type of officers would at least have a chair, and then it would need a document about its goal, its mission, scope, et cetera. So that's what we would need.
Well, if people have thoughts about that,
We just have to start, I mean,
The structure of it and makeup, et cetera.
Yeah.
Just the organizational piece of it.
and if you want to, where it would be held, how often, if you're going to have a fairly large audience, this room might not be the best room for it. I mean, you could in here, you hold about 30 people, and the community room is also available. It's about the same number, so it just depends on how many you have.
I can't imagine that we're going to need a different space.
Probably not.
You may have a lot of,
I'm wondering what
you may
your
have a lot
thoughts
of
are.
Zoom on something like that.
That's true, yeah. Will you allow Zoom? If it's an advisory committee,
Let's get the ball rolling, that's my only point.
So I'd love to hear your feedback also, John and Mike, and
Well, I mean,
concerns and thoughts.
what is your main goal to help develop? Or you want to find out?
My main goal
Find out
is
from owners what it is they're looking,
help collaboratively enhance the village, present and future.
something in there to help increase, people are going to come in for, say, help increase sales or whatnot, that's.
Yeah, well, it's to make sure that the village is operating in a way that's consistent with today's lifestyle. People like to eat in a certain way, they like to shop in a certain way, they use services a certain way, and just keeping an eye on how that is impacting the village.
excuse me for a moment, go ahead with your discussion.
I don't know, maybe Jody joined our comprehensive plan committee, maybe you can join this one.
Yeah, I can get, like I said, I can get you the contacts if you want them, just via fire inspections and everything, so.
Okay,
Be good. I know the town has met informally with the chamber and local businesses. So it's just kind of an informal dialogue.
I kind of want to create a committee, and they can meet periodically, or if something comes up, then as needed, but just like constantly, just like thinking about the enhancement as a connected group, whereas right now we're super disconnected.
And that was one of the things, just walking around and handing out, letting people know about the survey, encouraging them to complete the comprehensive plan survey.
Yeah, like if we had 3 people from businesses on that committee, for example, there would have been a lot more feedback, because they would have asked their friends to fill it out and whatnot.
And there are also the nonprofits that had input, that are in the mall, that had input on things that they had concerns about, or just to make it a more business-friendly environment.
Yeah, okay.
Is the chambers the same as the IDA?
No.
No,
Why wouldn't you want the IDA?
Well, that's my question.
It wouldn't be a problem to ask them if they're interested. I think they're more for big projects, and this is more for just like directional planning, but
They have always been in.
I'm happy to talk to them. I'm happy to reach out.
and you can also just have liaisons and invite.
Yeah, it's all-
Depending on the issue and the.
Liaisons at this point, yeah.
Now, the IDA would probably get involved if during your discussions, an idea came up for a specific project
I
or
think.
business, then you could say, we've got this, do you want to come attend a meeting?
And I think there's a new director, right?
Oh, it's not-
Heather's gone?
Yes, yeah, there is a new director, and I just can't remember.
I can't either.
We're definitely.
Well, the thing of it is, they might be able to, maybe they have turned down some previous projects or something that might be more fitting on a lower scale. If you,
Good thought,
Possibly, yeah, yeah.
they might have leads for.
because there's such, and because they're new to the area and the climate and who we are and what we try to do.
Okay, well, that was the first point I wanted to bring up. The second one I wanted to bring up was, Johnny, where are we in terms of creating job descriptions for our new positions? And what is our timeline for the clerk/treasurer and figuring out how we're gonna divide that job?
We are nowhere closer than we were before.
Do you have an idea about when you wanna,
The
the reason
job des-
why I'm raising this,
the job description, I think, would be very similar to Jody's. It's just that the hours would be what we would have to determine the days and hours they would be working.
so you have a job description that we've written out for the clerks?
Yeah, I have A now. I don't have Jody's version. I've got my version that I got from civil service and the state.
The reason why I would bring this up is that I was reading the municipal magazine, and I did not know, but maybe you guys all did, that there is a New York State Municipal Clerks Institute in Albany.
Absolutely.
And they have like 13 graduates a year. So I was thinking that that might be a good resource to start. Finding somebody who's been to this institute would be the perfect person for the job, like if they're been already, because I'm thinking about training and how difficult that's gonna be to fill Jody's shoes. And if somebody at least has the educational background specific to being a clerk treasurer in New York State, then that would be a boon. So I was wondering if we wanted to reach out to them in any capacity. And they're clerk treasurer from the village of Baker, is now a member of NICOM. She's on the board. I think it's the first time they've had a clerk treasurer on the NICOM board, Amanda Jetschner. And I just thought like, oh, okay, there's people out there who have created these job descriptions before and thought about, who they want and how this person is going to be trained. And so I thought, okay, well, we should maybe also be thinking about it from this institute point of view. Maybe we could find somebody really excellent.
I think there's also a New York State Association of Clerks.
There is.
Yep.
So, and they're associated with NICOM too, because they
Yep.
have clerk-specific training
Right.
during.
I
Yeah,
don't think we have to reinvent the wheel.
that's exactly what I'm saying.
No.
I mean, there are resources out there, there are consulting firms, NICOM, they can point us in the right direction.
The thing that we would need to start, this was part of our original discussion, is for our next budget cycle, we would be looking at the money we would need. So we've got to have an idea of the hours, the time they would be working, et cetera, and to open up that position. But we can have things in place to pull the trigger when that happens.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
So,
And that'll be for the next budget cycle.
yeah, so we've got some time, but it doesn't hurt to get prepared early and make connections. And this was a new association I wasn't aware of, but at least with the New York State Association of Clerks. And just let them know that we're going to be opening a position, and how would they suggest that we contact people to let them know it's open?
Yeah,
Because they would probably know about this other one too.
yeah.
I think initially, this has been years in the making, knowing there's going to be a strong need for succession planning.
Yeah.
As we all, as John put it, age, or whatever you said, we're not getting any.
Okay. But no, that's a good goal. I can send you what I've got, but I would like to get Jody's.
I know, it was too bad that she wasn't here today, because I wanted to raise this, but we have plenty of time.
She'll be hearing this.
Certainly
Jody, when you're watching this video, typing up the minutes,
does on a daily basis, quite different
absolutely.
than what we determine would be the needs
Yes.
currently and going forward. As I've talked to clerk treasurers and clerks.
It's obviously not uncommon to have a clerk treasurer, but we've already decided that we want to have a clerk and a treasurer, so.
So Jody, if you could, when you get back and you have a chance, send out what you would consider your job description for the clerk, and a separate job description of a treasurer to meet the responsibilities that you've had to perform as our clerk treasurer, to give us a starting point to help for our next budget cycle and opening up a position as a training hire. So.
That's all for me.
Okay, thanks, Carolyn. Susan?
Let's see. Last Thursday, Ronnie was away, so the Health Consortium, so they talked a lot about budgeting, and what bottom line is, our Health Consortium is providing health care for our employees, and they are work very hard in terms of budgeting to stay ahead of the curve in terms of offering benefits that cost less than Celsius, which that wasn't apparent to me until I stepped in for Ronnie. So that was good in terms of what we're paying for healthcare for our employees. If they opt in, so Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Excelsius, whatever that company ends up being.
Yeah.
And so that was good. Bolton Point Engineering Committee and Bolton Point Commissioners Meeting. Nothing much new to report, just working on day-to-day Bolton Point stuff. No big issues as they're moving forward with their raw water treatment build.
Did they approve their rate increases for next year?
Yes.
What was the rate increase? Do you remember?
There were three choices. The one that was in the middle, is that six?
Okay.
$6.
I didn't see was that part of the agenda package?
Yes,
Okay, I'll go back and look at that.
and they have wonderful agenda packages.
Okay, I will go back and
Yeah, and I think it's $6.
6%?
Yep,
6%,
percent, not dollars.
all right.
Knowing they're going to have to build their reserves for future
Yeah,
projects. That's it from me.
okay. Kathleen?
Town Conservation Advisory Council met August 6th, and it was basically an update on the Climate Smart Communities program status, update on the discussion of whether to convert to a board from an advisory council, and the next meeting in September, instead of meeting on the first Wednesday in September, that's canceled. They're meeting Thursday instead with the Town of Ithaca Conservation Board to basically discuss the pros and cons of being a council board capacity, et cetera. And then they'll report back to the regular town board meeting. And then County Core Advisory Group is meeting on the 18th. David Whalen is going to be the guest speaker. He's got a background in emergency planning, preparedness, response, recovery, and chair of the New York State Independent Living Council Emergency Preparedness Committee, FEMA Access and Functional Need Trainer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it should be a good meeting, and I will report back on that. And Jeff Dunn is giving an update on the plans for Tompkins County. Also, September is National Emergency Preparedness Month, everyone, so save the date. September 13th is the Airport Day and Preparedness Expo. And the next meeting, okay. There is citizen preparedness training at the Lansing Fire Station on August 11th. This Lansing Fire Station. And there's a Lansing Community Sustainability Picnic, noon to 4. Thank you for putting it on the website. There's a flyer, 12 to 4, Sunday, August 24th at Myers Park. Ta-da. That's really about it. The other meetings are to happen.
See what happened.
water resource didn't meet, and
Does the Lansing Sustainability Picnic flyer say bring your own utensils?
Cornell Cooperative Extension is actually sponsoring this.
So they're bringing utensils for everyone?
They're in the planning stage right now. I don't know how they're going to work that, but that's,
We're back.
yeah.
Sometimes those organizations will use the local company that brings in.
Right, like,
Then takes it and washes them. So
I don't know.
yeah, haven't heard.
Finger food only.
Yeah, could be.
And you solve the problem very easily.
I don't know. Siobhan is organizing that.
Anything else?
No?
Okay. I've got several topics. It's been a busy time the last couple of weeks, actually the last couple of weeks. Yesterday there was a municipal leader meeting with President Kotlikoff, the new president of Cornell University. I was glad that I went. It was an early morning meeting, and we were almost awake. Because he said in that meeting that despite what has been reported in local news, that Cornell is not paying $100 million to the federal government.
Really?
To teach. He said that they are in negotiations with the federal government, but that they would not agree, they will not agree to anything that would impose federal oversight or regulation on what they teach and how. So they're in that process of negotiation, but they will not pay to play. So it was an interesting talk with him. He said that Cornell requires the immigration and customs enforcement officers, if they come on Cornell campus, that they must follow the Cornell rules about entering their buildings and about apprehending any individuals. And my question to him, which he could not answer, is, does Cornell require a bench warrant, a judicial bench warrant, or do they require the agency warrants that ICE uses? And he said he wasn't sure. He didn't know there were two different warrants. And I explained briefly that, yes, a judicial warrant is a matter of our Constitution's habeas corpus, that the person that was being apprehended must be scheduled as to appear before a judicial bench and not just sent promptly to a detention center. So there was a difference. So he found that interesting. He was going to check into it. It was basically around the table discussions about municipals. This meeting seemed to focus more on the county concerns about funding for the county airport, the number of flights that come in. A lot of the discussion was about that. There was a discussion about the micron technology movement that's going on in New York State to get new technology, computer systems and so forth into the state, and that's kind of stalling. And we were asking, the county had asked the Cornell lobbyists to try to help push that through, because Cornell has some potential positions and money coming in from that if it goes through. The other discussion was about the growth of AI and how the AI systems, the farms that have to hold the computers for the new AI movement, artificial intelligence movement, are just as bad as cryptocurrency. And they're going to drain the electrical infrastructure. So it was an interesting morning. This morning, before this meeting, I had a group of 6 meeting. This is the municipalities who participate or take advantage of or use the Village of Cayuga Heights wastewater treatment plant that was held. municipal updates. We had there are two agreements that need to be updated pretty soon. Plant-to-plant agreement, which is how the Ithaca area wastewater treatment plant and the Village of Cayuga Heights wastewater treatment plant will interact with each other, and how to support each other, and charges back and forth if they support or use one or the other two plants. So that's in place. And then the intermunicipal agreements that we update every 5 years, I believe, are due sometime at the end of next year. So those updates will be coming, so we might be asked to, we will be asked to approve it and sign it, but we will have some input into what we want that to say. There was no discussion about our letter today, which I didn't really expect it within the group meeting. That would be a private between the Village of Cayuga Heights and us, and Town of Lansing, more than anyone else. They briefly discussed purchasing the property, and Linda had asked me at the end of the meeting with Kotlakoff at Cornell if she said she had the feeling that the town and Village of Lansing were not interested in purchasing the property. And I said, that's not necessarily true, that we were still considering it, but it was a big hit to our capital reserve. And so I said, it's not off the table, but she said that from her standpoint, it was looking more like the Village of Cayuga Heights would probably have to buy the property, and therefore the charges for the purchase of that land would have to be distributed among all of the members, which was a part of our discussion too. So whichever way, if we decide we want to purchase that property, I think we're free to go forward with that, but we need to, I haven't received any answers from questions that I copied you all on. She thinks that the DEC would be amenable to them using the property, but she doesn't know what sort of restrictions they will place on the development of that land, and how the sewage outflow, the effluent, would be shifted into a lake. So she's not sure. And I said, well, a lot of those questions have to be answered before you invest money, or we invest money on the property.
Can I ask a question on that real quick?
Yeah.
That's property, I believe, is in the town of Ithaca, correct?
Yes, I believe it is.
Would the municipalities be subject to their code on uses?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about that.
I think so.
Yeah, why not?
I think so. I would think they would be.
Be subject to the
Yeah.
code?
Definitely.
So it would have.
Is it a qualified use?
It may not be.
And we did touch on those
You get a hardship.
types of issues with Peter when he was.
Yeah. They don't know what's under the land. And I said, well, if you're gonna buy it, or whoever's gonna buy it, they better do a study to figure out if you're gonna have to go in and mitigate a brownfield. So there may be issues under the soil that could be problematic. So I haven't heard any answers, and she didn't give me any answers.
And any fees that they add to try to cover the expense of that property never get reduced? You understand what I'm saying?
Immediately.
If they have a 12% increase to cover the cost of that building, like the village had one that was for capital projects, and that was removed from the town of Lansing, if you recall.
Right.
But if they just figured in their use fees, typically those fees never go down. They never get reduced.
They never get.
Once the property is covered, the expense is covered.
Right.
Just tidbit.
Well, there was another interesting discussion today about the DEC is trying to force the Ithaca area wastewater treatment plant to significantly upgrade their planned update to the facility to involve nitrification of the effluent, which is a very expensive a very expensive upgrade. It would double the cost of the new upgrade, and it would double or triple all of the sewer rates. But Rich DiPaolo has done a lot of work with the Ithaca Area Wastewater Treatment Plant, has done a lot of work. They have no justification for requesting that. They just think that we should, the Ithaca Area Wastewater Treatment Plant should do this because they suspect that there's a lot of nitrogen inside the, and/or ammonia within the effluent, that it's going to harm the wildlife or plant life within the lake. There's no report, there are no records that it's really happening. It just, so my question to Rich was, are they treating Ithaca or Ithaca wastewater treatment plant as their test case? Because they'll know that if we think they're going to ask us to do that, that our county, Ithaca itself, we are very proactive. And they think, oh, if we get them to do this, then we'll have a model for doing it with everyone else, and they'll pay for it, and they'll do it. And Rich said he wasn't sure, but he's going, what he's doing is he's writing a memo to the DEC, pushing back on their findings and their requirements. And
Their findings, they had findings.
there are no findings, but their findings are that we need to do this. He said he could not find anything from their communications. He's asked people, they can't provide any numbers. They just think that it's a problem. And so we have to go spend, our area has to spend an extra $100 million to solve a problem that might not even exist.
And this has been talked about at CWEO ever since Isaac is now our official wastewater management person, because that position had not been filled for a while. So CWEO and Roxy have been talking about this for several years as something that they really don't want to deal with because it hasn't been proven. It may happen sometime in the future, which probably, I'm not a scientist, but who knows?
So what's going to come out of this is a memo from Rich, and that he asked if the group of 6 municipalities wanted to sign it as a group or as individual municipalities. And we talked about it, and it was probably better if it comes from the group because it shows that we're discussing it and thinking about long-term consequences. And the only other thing that we might have to do, from our case, I think we would want to do, is pass a resolution from you, the Board of Trustees, allowing me to sign that, saying for whatever the memo says, but we will have a chance to read it before we agree to it. So I just wanted to give you a warning. So Brent Cross, this is for you, John. Brent Cross said that he got permission from Dave Herrick, who's on vacation, to present to the municipality's engineering department, which I guess would be you and Brent, the Remington Road study that is not completed, to get a feel for what they're going to be proposing to be done. So when you see that, you don't necessarily have to speak up immediately, but in the back of your mind, identify and let us know of issues we might see within that study that would raise the price or diminish the efficiency of that system. So he said sometime in the next 2 weeks, he would be scheduling that with you. The other thing was they want to try, they've said this before, and they're trying to formalize it, how to capture each municipality's I&I work so that they can present that as a group to DEC when they start trying to get help with, for asking forgiveness for exceeding their daily max load, or if we want to try to get a DEC or a state grant. They said that if we had record of all of the I&I work we've been doing, that it would kind of deflect the state's all their argument that nobody's doing anything for I&I. If you take care of all of your I&I, it'll solve all of your problems. So they're looking at one, putting to their lecture system, which they have online now. It would just be a record of, the date, what we did, and, what we think the results were.
I really feel like we should do something like they do over there under their sale of the homes. When they sell a home, Mike doesn't need any more work, but I don't know how we could have it done, is they go and inspect each house to make sure there's no illegal connections in the basement or.
Had heard that.
That'd be a ton of work for you, wouldn't it? As much as.
Residents, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what they do over there now.
Yeah.
They do every resident.
Over where?
Over Cuba Heights.
Don't you?
Before each sale of the house, they have a right to go in and inspect it.
Oh, so they just do it per sales, so they don't try to do every single house.
No, they don't, they only do it for the sales, but in the village, if you pay attention, there's a lot of houses.
A lot of turnover, there's a lot of turnover, yeah.
Apparently this year, no. Last year, crazy.
Yeah,
This year,
slowed
no.
down this year. So, and Don, they said it would also be nice if we either did that and or putting information into the GIS system where you could look at where the I&I was done and have a map of where it's done too.
Right.
So they're looking at that. It's nothing we're going to start today, but they're
Yeah, absolutely.
looking at doing that. So, and I think that's a good idea. Okay, that's all of that subject. The next ones are a little easier, I think. Okay, status of moving our .org domain to .gov. I'm having problems getting the HPM services people to get back with me. They said they created a ticket for us and have me go to their site to find a ticket. When I go into the site, there's no ticket there. So Jody had called the owner, who she knows, and they're supposed to get back with us. But there are a lot of companies out there right now selling services, offering services that we can buy that they would help us move. So if we don't hear something pretty soon, we're going to have to do something else. It's not like there's anything that I could not do, but it's time intensive and it's problematic. It consumes a lot of time, and there are a lot of boxes you have to check to be sure that the .gov domain allows you to turn on your site within that domain. So, and HPM had done it for Village of Cuyahoga Heights. I thought it would be an easy thing, but maybe it wasn't so easy and they're not interested anymore. I created, and I think I've finalized pretty much the public service form for our website. Do we want to go live with that now?
That was a great form.
Yes,
Easy
why
to
not?
use. The only thing I mentioned was you saw that.
Yeah, I made those changes.
I went through and tested every,
Yeah,
and I submitted the test.
yeah, I noticed lots of zeros and question marks and so forth. I figured it
Well,
was
test,
Kathleen.
test, yes.
The only question I have about is currently I have the 2025 Comprehensive Plan Committee. Do you still want
No, we're gonna wrap up. We might as well take it down.
to remove it?
Probably gonna have 2 more meetings,
Okay.
and that's it.
I just put it in there to see how easy it was to add and subtract. It's really not a big thing. So the next question is on that. Do you want to have a button on the homepage? Or have it, there's a navigation menu at the top of every page. I can put it in there. That's where our other forms are. Or do you?
I think a button on the front page and then the forms, doesn't have to be on every page.
Okay.
Yeah. A
Page button.
But 2 places,
gonna-
on the main page, when you first come on it, participate, and then it's just amongst the forms.
Yeah,
Well, the homepage would be, there'll be a button, like the 3 blue ones we have at the top now. There'd be a 4th button now that would just say, okay, yeah, it can be.
color coded.
Now, see, the color changes in the website were based upon Kathleen's request that we go to ADA compliant. And the evaluation of our website said you need more contrast. Here are some selections, and I picked the blue because it was the least offensive color. So there'll be another button. It won't be on the main menu link. And obviously, we'll have a post to, and it will stay up for a little while and let people know where to go. Okay, so I'll take care of that. And my last question and last topic, we were talking about putting up the TCOG QIO presentation. Where should we put that?
You know, it would be really nice to have an area where people could go to for presentations.
All presentations?
Because the presentation that Roxy did on the 17th was specific to the village, even though she used essentially the same PowerPoint with a couple slides difference.
Yeah.
But it was the same narration, and it was specific to the village, so I don't know where you would put it on there, but someplace on the homepage on the left, just, you know how you have to the YouTube recordings.
Under topic area, I think we just go under topic area, presentations,
Yeah,
like one of these buttons.
yeah, one of those buttons. I can put village presentations. And then what I would suggest doing for something like that is have the title and the date it was put up, so that people would see how current it is.
And later you could, categorize it, these are by issue topic, if you want, depending on how many there are.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And I think, as a side note, we should appreciate Ronnie's efforts and going above and beyond.
As webmaster and
Yeah.
designer of forms.
Yeah.
Something
His
I'd be able to do it all.
responsibilities and duties as mayor.
I'll give you a 5-minute lesson learned. This is something that everyone wants to know. WordPress has a theme, which is the overall design and look of the website. Well, this theme that I picked 5 years ago, when I tried to create these forms and put in checkboxes and radio buttons so you can have selections, they disappear.
Imagine that.
So I contacted tech support for that theme, and come to find out, they don't support it anymore. So I had to go through thousands of lines of code, figure out why those things were hiding, and I had to do that. I haven't had to do that since I started designing with WordPress.
So maybe I should double down on my compliment, maybe take you to lunch, I don't know.
I was shocked. And the little piece of code they put in that theme was absolutely unnecessary. It didn't do anything for the theme. It didn't do anything. It didn't protect anything or make something prettier. It was just.
But it made it obsolete. We learned our lesson, didn't we, Ronnie?
Thank you, Ronnie.
Yeah, I learned it. Anyway, so that's all I have.
And we voted on these, yeah.
We voted on that. I can sign the bills. So I will move that we adjourn at
Second.
2:02. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Oh, my goodness. And we hope Ms.